Why do you fight corruption?
Well, it's about freedom and liberty. And that's why I owe it to my kids and my grandkids. And if I'm free and you're not, then I'm not free.
When you're with your grandkids, because they're sweet little innocent toddlers, I don't know if they're that age.
Yeah, they are.
But with my children, every time I'm reading to my little daughter, she's almost 4. I love when they're little. Yeah. She's so sweet. And she's so innocent and good. All I'm thinking about is we've got to beat the New World Order. We've got to beat the New World Order. Exactly.
And the corruption that's in government is something that I cannot tolerate, and I won't. And I believe that there's a lot of good sheriffs out there that will join us in this great cause. And I'm asking your listeners to join us in that great cause. I need support. I need help with this. I'm doing as much as I can. And I'm traveling, and I'm almost exhausted with the traveling.
How key is it to reach out to juries, grand juries, and sheriffs, and to take the states back? For those that don't know, the founders built this in as a balance of power against an out-of-control federal government.
Well, the sheriff is actually vital in every bit of that. State sovereignty is still something the sheriff should be very concerned about. They need to be enforcing that. Juries, absolutely, yes. But the bottom line is the sheriff will determine what is and what is not enforced in your county. And so we take back America, sheriff by sheriff, county by county, state by state. We make the federal government irrelevant. The corruption coming out of Washington, D.C., and I'm going to tell you right now, the small arms ban that the United Nations is trying to work out with Hillary Clinton right now, there isn't anything that the UN and the federal government are trying to do to us that the sheriffs can't stop.
Exactly. When they couldn't get Congress to pass the carbon taxes, they had Obama do it executively, and then they admitted at the Copenhagen meeting 2 years ago, led by Schwarzenegger, we're going to go to the cities and do it. And they marched into Austin, San Francisco, and other cities and put carbon taxes on us.
Yeah.
I mean, these are lawless scumbag criminals.
Right.
And
if there was nothing more evident of that, then just look at the process going on right now, the sausage being grinded out through this ridiculous economic process. What you can know for certain with all of this, looking at $14.5 trillion in debt and our obligations up to about $90 trillion, what you can know is that every bit of that was thievery, corruption, and your government at work at its worst. And that's why we have got to find a way to make Washington, D.C. irrelevant. Financially, economically, and socially. And the sheriffs and the state governments can do that. You get governors and sheriffs working together on this holy cause of liberty. We'll get freedom back tomorrow.
And that's why they're set up the rural councils, the governor's councils, the mayor's councils. They fly them all up there. Those that are toadies get put on special boards and then get more federal money. I mean, this is just how the Soviets controlled their satellites, the system they're setting up. I want to go to some phone calls for Sheriff Richard Mack here today. Jeff in Louisiana, you're on the air. Welcome, sir. Hey, Jeff, how you doing?
Hey.
Yes, welcome. You're on the air.
I just wanted to say thanks for everything. And, yeah, I worked with NOPD. I'm in the National Guard, and I worked with the New Orleans Police Department for 3 years after Hurricane Katrina, which I'm sure, you know, it was all over the news. Everybody knows about. And
the gun confiscation.
Oh, no, not that. It was.
No, but I'm saying the first chance the feds had,
they did it.
They said, we're not bringing food and water. We're coming into the neighborhood and take your guns. But go ahead and make your point, sir. Sorry.
No, it was just going along with everything you're saying about federalizing police and, you know, the military to work with the police. But I don't know exactly what is going on with the NOPD, but they are federalized now. So I don't know if, you know, who's working with them, but they may be trying to. Well,
New Orleans, NOPD has had problems way before Katrina, and they've been very corrupt. I've followed that one for the last 15 years, and their corruption there has been widespread and very well known. And man, have they had problems!
Remember the cops in Walmart stealing everything?
Oh yeah, sure. And they thought it was fine. You know, they're being interviewed while they're doing it. You know, that's typical of how far gone New Orleans PD has gone.
What about New York PD? I have footage where they go up to peaceful activists protesting with permits and say, leave or we're going to say you have bombs. They go, we don't have bombs. They go, well, we know you don't. We're going to put you in jail for bombs. And then they let them go with tape.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a felony.
Yeah.
A cop saying, I'm going to say you got a bomb.
Yeah.
I mean, that shows total criminal confidence.
Of course. And we've got to have a way to combat that, and I believe we do. And we have some great sheriffs. Even back in New York, we've got some great sheriffs that are coming on board.
Because they're elected. Anything else, caller? All right, Jeff, I appreciate your call. I mean, it's such common sense that the police in your area are under state law and they're elected by you. I mean, and then the sheriff, is actually going after criminals and working with the citizens. And if they need more help, get your guns, boys. We got a guy on the loose. I mean, my mother growing up in Hyde Park in Austin, Texas, the state hospital's like a mile away. And they routinely would have the police come through, and my grandpa would go out and they'd say, hey, get your rifles. We got a dangerous, violent nut that's out. Help us.
Right.
Or if there was a rabid dog, they'd just go out in the middle of Austin and just shoot it. Or when you had the tower shooting, all the citizens with their guns. Look at how much we've changed since then.
We have changed, and we keep sliding down, like Judge Bork says, sliding down to Gomorrah with his book. And that's exactly what's happening in our country, and we have got to take our America back, and there is a place to do it. There still is a place for hope and liberty and freedom in this country, and it's in your county. And county by county, we can do this.
Yeah, we get 60% turnouts on average for presidential, 8.2 on average for county and city. Folks, take your city back. Get aggressive.
You can.
Let's go to Josh in North Carolina, then Ron and Bill. Josh, you're on the air. Go ahead.
How's it going, Alex? I listen to you all the time, but not for the reason I think a lot of other people do. I listen because I think half the people who call on your show are completely nuts. And I don't think they're as informed as they should be. And a perfect example is one of your last callers who called and said, I'm military, and I told my Marines, hey, you don't defend the president. You defend the Constitution only. Well, he's blatantly wrong. Every enlisted member of the military swears to the Constitution and the President of the United States. The only people who don't are officers. And we were put in that position so that in case a usurper took over office, we wouldn't have allegiance to him, and we could take him over. But yet this guy is trying to make...
Yeah, but expanding on that, they've tried to change the oath just to the president. That's what Hitler did. You're given those rules, and you're given the military rules, and you're not to follow an illegal or unlawful order. So what does military do when they're ordered to go help run checkpoints with the police?
See, I think, and then some people are looking at this as something else. One of your other callers said, well, I trained with foreign military and foreign police, and that just really creeped me out. We do that all the time. That's no secret. I've been in the Marine Corps for 15 years.
Josh, I know about training with foreign troops. They have signed official deals to use foreign troops in America for civil unrest. Are you aware of that?
Yeah, and because we get theater cooperation with all of these other people, and we try to keep good terms with every country we
stay there. I understand you know it all, and I'm glad to finally have somebody on who knows it all. I mean, I guess we're a bunch of crazy kooks who think the military's on the... And TSA, I said they'd be on the streets 8 years ago, and now they are. Yeah, I've got the oath that the military personnel swear, and it is... I do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the state name against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear truth, faith, and allegiance to the same, and that I will obey the orders of the President of the United States and the Governor of the state and the orders of the officers appointed over me according to law and regulations. So you got to follow the law. And if you go to the whole history of it, it's been recently changed. Before it was to defend and protect the Constitution, but they have gotten rid of that. And but let me ask the caller, because I want to just cut right down to where you stand, Josh. Are you saying everything's fine? The fact that they've got signed deals to use, quote, Mexican and Canadian troops inside the U.S. to, quote, fight terrorism and for other disasters, and I can pull that up for you, and maybe Katrina with a gun confiscation, that didn't happen, or maybe it was needed. Because you're saying that the callers are a bunch of idiots, and I mean, spell it out for us. Impart to us the knowledge here. I mean, is it bad that Obama's launching a war in Libya without congressional approval? I mean, are we wrong to be upset here?
No, I don't think you're wrong to be upset, but I will say if everything's a conspiracy, then nothing's a conspiracy. Everything can't have a double meaning. And I think a lot of people want everything to have a secret meaning. It's that everybody's evil. I know you do your whole Bohemian Grove thing and all that stuff, but we still
Hey, listen, I've been to the urban warfare drills where the participants are playing the parts of Americans. Then I've had Marines and Army walk up to me in Texas and say, turn your camera off when they're doing a takeover drill of the town and threaten me. And I'm talking about people with guns. So, and I have to tell them no. In fact, I never even got to the clip earlier. We're in New York. Troops run across the street with guns and start threatening me. And I've had JAG officers and retired people, generals on, and they say the way Posse Comitatus is written, this is illegal and it's being ignored. Is it okay to have loaded guns on their side hips threatening me not to videotape them in New York?
And you know that they're loaded. You said that they're 45s. We haven't carried 45s.
I know they carry
Korea.
Berettas. I know they carry Berettas. Hey, these guys had 45s, and I got footage. In fact, did Rob ever bring that into you? I told him to bring that in. It's in Endgame. Okay, I told Jacobson 2 hours ago in there to send you the video clip online. Just call Jacobson in here.
What caliber
9mm.
did you say? What caliber do they carry, Josh?
Josh?
He said that they were carrying 45s.
But I happen to know. But I happen to know it's 9mm Beretta, isn't it?
Okay, but it is. So what?
They had 45s. They had 45s.
Okay, so you saw their military ID, and you know 100% that these guys are legit military, even though they don't carry our standard issue weapon. They can just carry whatever they want.
Oh, now I'm having delusions about white vans. And,
all I'm saying is you said they were carrying a weapon we don't carry. So
there you go.
Okay.
Well, I'm glad everything's okay, and you got government, and there's no inflation, I'm sure, and everything's fine.
Hey, everybody's got difficulties, but when you say something that's wrong, I just don't think that everybody should just roll with it. Like, we have the largest recruitment thing in Mexico City. You said that. Where's the proof of that? There's no evidence.
I remember reading that in the Washington Post 5 years ago.
I've worked in recruiting. We don't recruit in Mexico City. In fact, in 2003, an Army recruiter crossed the border into Mexico, and he got in a huge amount of trouble because we don't do that.
Does the BATF run guns down to Mexico?
I don't work for the BATF, so I wouldn't know.
You haven't seen those reports, and you think that's all a conspiracy thing when agent
with Fast and Furious you're referring to?
Listen.
BATF agent Dotson reported it. A BATF agent reported that. This stuff isn't made up. Truth is stranger than fiction.
Shelly Castile told us on this show 6 years ago that they were shipping guns into Mexico, and it was the ATF.
Yeah.
And then it all came true.
Yeah.
But listen, sir, you notice when you had that pleasure moment and said we don't carry 45s, I said 9mm Berettas. I said 45s because that's what they look like to me. Okay?
Well, you obviously knew they carried 9mm.
No, the thing is, I saw it, the whole groups I saw, big, giant 45s. And I thought that was weird.
It's easy to see the difference.
I don't know why, okay? But the point is the 45s. And I think some have Berettas as well. I got the video clip. Retransmission starts in 10 minutes.